Okay, what's going on, everybody? My name is Mangg. Today, we're playing some more Overwatch. I've been playing just a lot of it, on my own for the most part, just doing like quick play classic. Nothing serious, but I don't know. I've just been having a lot of fun. Um, there's just all these characters that I've never played as before, and I've been switching around. Right now, I'm liking Brigitte, who's not really the best choice for quick play at all, but I've been having fun, and that's all that matters. I apologize for the wonky resolution in the for the stream. For whatever reason, well, really, Blizzard just does not really care for ultra wide monitors. They just don't really give a shit. The only one that really works pretty well with ultra wide is World of Warcraft. So for Overwatch, you can play in 21:9 ratio. It does technically support it, like out of the box, as you can see, 21:9. But the problem is, it's not actually ultra wide. I mean, it's not proper. They just basically crop the video vertically so they can stretch it horizontally. So it's, I think they do this so it's not an advantage in any way. You can't see more of the screen. It's actually a bit of a disadvantage. But I still play an ultra wide because, I mean, come on. Oh, and I got the thing again. Right, let me fix it.
Back in the fight.
The payload moves towards its predicted outcome.
I'll take care of you.
But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. And yeah, I wish I had others that played, but the two people that do play just don't have any free time in the world, whereas I have too much free time in the world. So it is what it is. That was a great Reinhardt charge there, eh? I mean, I'm not good at Overwatch. A little out. And that's why I'm not playing, I'm not going into competitive mode by myself, because I'm really not that great. But again, with quick play, no one really judges you. I mean, sometimes people will shit talk. But no one ever really cares, like, what you pick for a character, or really, you know, if you do shit. No one's that judgmental. And it's just kind of nice and relaxing. You do have to deal with, like, I try to play, you know, if we need a tank, I'll play a tank. If we need a support, I'll play support. If we need a DPS, whatever. But most people don't really do it that way. Most people are just like, all right, let's have 5 DPS. And then they go with the 5 DPS. And the thing is, like, you can't say, hey, we should have a tank, because it's just, that's not how quick play works. And I'm okay with that, I guess. Like, because I was playing support once because we needed support. And after we lost the game, I was like, oh, it would have been nice if we had a tank. And someone was just like, well, you should have switched then. It's like, all right. And sometimes in quick play, you run up against like 6-man teams that are just like completely dominating, and there's absolutely nothing you can do. And that's a little annoying. You run into Smurfs sometime. But yeah, I mean, I've been playing a lot of it, so I enjoy it. Anyways, moving on.
Part of the learning process.
This week on this channel, we had some more Last of Us Part 2, of course. And that, I don't think that'll finish this week. I don't believe so. Oh, that's pretty close. And we also have Ghost of Tsushima, which is going to go on for quite some time. That's a pretty lengthy experience. That was a pretty good bash, by the way. We had Two Brothers play A Way Out Part 2. That's a fun game. We're both really enjoying that. That's just a good co-op experience. It varies it up. Nothing like, no single mechanic seems to overstay its welcome. And yeah, I'm curious to see how the story plays out, I guess. But it's not that long of a game, and then we'll move on to something a bit more gamey, I suppose. Something a bit more challenging. Fuck. And that's pretty much it. So yeah, next week, same as this week for the most part. Actually, almost exactly. And I think once Last of Us 2 finishes, we're going to go with Dragon Quest 4. And then once Ghost of Tsushima finishes, I'm going to play that new game, Carrion, which is like a side-scrolling platforming action 2D, but you play as like a monster. So I assume it's sort of like the ending of Inside. Where you like become that giant flesh monster and kill a bunch of people. I assume the whole game is sort of like that, but it's been getting good reviews. It seems like something I would like, so we're gonna do that after Ghost of Tsushima. And fuck. God damn, dude. great Hanzo ult there. Very beautiful. Got a whole lot done. Okay. Fuck. Yeah, so Carrion and Dragon Quest IV, those will be the next couple LPs. And then I think after Carrion, my hope is that it'll be the start of September by that point, and we'll be doing that Avengers game, which probably is not going to be incredible, but it's very rare that I get to play as the Hulk, so we're going to take that opportunity and do a Let's Play. I mean, I would like it to be good, of course. And I don't know if you'll get to play the whole game as the Hulk, or I'll have to play some lame hero like Hawkeye or something, but we'll see how it goes. There aren't that many big releases on the schedule, so we're gonna take what we can get. All right, guys, let's do this. I got that ult. Widowmaker's already dead, because why the fuck are you playing a Widowmaker? All that good stuff. Oh god, this ult was useless. Fuck. Fucking Widowmaker. Well, maybe we'll get it. And, we're not gonna, no, we're not gonna get it. Get in there, Sigma. No. Well, if they get it, it's not up to me. What the fuck was that?
This is not the end of the world.
Got a wrecking ball stalling. That's always fun. But I don't think we're gonna get it. That wrecking ball's dead. Yeah. Oh well. It's quick play. I mean, that's the thing. Like, my win rate is like 60%. So I win more than I lose, I guess. But if you lose, whatever. It takes like 20 seconds to get into another game, and you just move on. You don't have to worry about your rank or any bullshit. You just try to have fun. 5 minutes, 27 seconds. Objective time. Crazy. Anyways, on the Exploring series, that other channel that I manage, released the third part of the Apotheosis canon, which was my worst performing SCP video in not ever. I'm sure my first SCP video didn't perform that well either, but in a long time. Just not a big hit. And I assume that's mostly due to people were just not interested in that sort of comic book wackiness, and it's a far cry from the cosmic horror that a lot of people like about SCP. Or at least a lot of my fans like about SCP.
I will prove myself.
But, you know, it was a thing that I liked and I wanted to do, and I did, and now it's there. Perhaps some people were interested in seeing the full, all parts combined.
Times it's a wonder you can still fight.
I released that on podcasts yesterday or the other day. Put out a post letting people know that I wasn't putting it on YouTube. I'm just, again, it's like, I don't know. I probably could have put it on YouTube and there wouldn't have been an issue. Because it's, you know, I'm at the point where I'm a big enough channel. You can do all sorts of shit that they frown upon and they don't care. But I just got a copyright strike from that Scarlet King thing. I don't want to really push my luck in any way. So we're just... Get in there, Rhiney. Got your ass. Fuck. What the fuck is hitting me? I assume Farah. That's not what you do. That is the opposite of what you do as Brigitte. Anyways, I didn't want to push my luck. And
This is not the end of the world.
I didn't think many people would watch it, so I didn't want to push my luck for no reason. So I just put it on podcasts. I get better ad rates there anyways, so whatever.
My barrier's about to go.
Wow. I stopped his charge at least, but didn't change anything.
Part of the learning process.
This is just disastrous. I'm gonna have to switch. Why would you say? Why would you tell me to don't do that? All right. They don't have a Sombra, so fuck it. So yeah, you know, whatever. You know, Apotheosis, it's done now. I liked it. Not many other people did. So it is what it is. And I also released a video on mind flayers in D&D. The end of Apotheosis was a bit strange. Yeah, you know. And that's the thing. It's like I'm not a reviewer. I don't review SCPs. I don't really like to comment on whether it's good or bad SCP. Fuck, what? I don't know. I have trouble sometimes with the shield going off. There must be... I don't think it activates at any point you want. And,
60 seconds remaining.
so is Apotheosis the best, like, set of tales that I've ever read? No. Was it fun? Was there some, like... I think there's some cool moments in Apotheosis. And, I I think it's a pretty interesting premise. There's some actually really good writing in there that I just couldn't. You know, I'm not reading the thing. I'm just summarizing, so you lose some of that cool stuff. But god damn. No, stay away from me. Mate. Fuck. Fuck. That was a bit of a waste, but alright. Yeah, it's just I wanted another multi-part series for SCP. And that one I saw was not too long. It was decently like received, you know, enough people liked it that it could have been. I knew it was going to be total trash. Oh, fuck. Don't fucking nano the Hammond. Okay, maybe nano the Hammond, I guess. It worked out. Yeah. So I did the Mind Flayers video. 20-minute. I think that's my longest monster video so far, I believe. And that was pretty cool. Mind Flayers are very creepy, you know, Lovecraftian monsters. I like them. I like Mind Flayers. I've actually never had a D&D session against a Mind Flayer, though. I don't think has ever used them. Oh, that's a death. That was a feed. God damn it. The May stun combo there. So I'm not exactly sure what the next D&D video is going to be on. I don't know what comes. Trying to avoid some of the more like I don't know, like I'm not going to do a video on goblins, for example. Or orcs, or I don't know, like Naga or something. I don't know. It's just maybe I'm sure there is interesting stuff, but fuck. My ice walling and doing your shield. That's not. You want to have your ice wall ready for when the shield comes out. I'm fucking dead.
60 seconds.
And this week I worked on a SCP video about 5555. Which is sort of a mini Ouroboros cycle, really. It's involves like powerful members of the SCP universe and one guy sort of going around and assassinating them. Not really. I mean, he doesn't assassinate any of them, but it's got sort of the similar vibe. At least I distracted him. Although, yeah, he just didn't have anyone else. Wow. Well, I'm not giving a great showing here, but I am trying to do commentaries, so this isn't an hour long.
Play of the game.
Yeah, I don't know. 55-55. I like it. Because it has that Ouroboros vibe to it, but it's not quite as epic, and it really is basically just a tale. I mean, that's really what it is. There is an SCP in it, but the SCP is so minor. It's such a minor part of the story. It's really not about that at all, which is similar to SCP-5000. I mean, SCP-5000 itself is the suit, the special suit that the guy wore during all the stuff. So it's not really about that suit whatsoever. It's about, you know, the Foundation trying to kill most of humanity. So it's similar to that. In just like, it's basically a tale, a long tale. Is 555 a fifth this SCP? No. And a lot of people said that was really a shame. That the 55-55 slot went to something that wasn't fifth this in nature. The thing is, though, I guess they have like a standard process. Like the winner... I don't know. Actually, I don't know how it works. I know the winner of the contest gets the 000 slot. That's what they're all vying for. But then I believe they all put in like their own preferences for like what slot they want if they don't win. And so the big ones are like 001, 999, and then any other like triple number. So like 4444 was a nice slot. 5555 is a nice slot. It doesn't need to have anything to do with fifithism or whatever. They're not going to reserve a slot just for that. The only thing is someone could have written a fifthist SCP and then specifically requested the 555 slot, but there aren't that many fifthist SCPs. It's a little tricky to write. Damn, that echo shredded us. So a lot of people said it was a shame, but I mean, it's not. They're not gonna reserve it just for that. That's not how they do things. That's me feeding right there. Yeah. So that's that. And then I think next week I'm going to be working on the follow-up to Wrath. 4812, I think, is the number of Wrath. So that was that really Dark Souls DJ Cactus SCP. That echo is fucking nuts, dude. Got double ultimates as Reinhardt. Wow, this is a massacre. So I'm really looking forward to that. Obviously, DJ Cactus is my favorite SCP author. Getting some like Dark Souls fantasy type stuff in there, that's always just cool. He's fucking dead. Fuck you. Well. Speaking of DJ Cactus and SCP, I don't think I mentioned this last time, but apparently I will be featured in an SCP. DJ Cactus is a fan of mine. He's in my Discord. He's expressed that he likes my videos. Fuck. And a bunch of SCP authors are a fan of mine, which is really awesome. That I have their approval. I'm not like bastardizing their work or anything like that. They like what I do. But DJ Cactus, big fan of mine. I'm a big fan of his, so it works out. And he shared an image of an SCP that he and a number of other authors are working together on. They're collabing. Fuck. And based on what he said, he didn't give many details. This is a ways off, apparently. It's in the early stages of writing, and he wants to work on some other stuff first. But he shared an image of like the SCP, you know, like the normal headline thing for SCP, and there's like an image of some sort of like desert or something style, you know, like photoshopped or whatever. Fuck. And it's got the Exploring series imposed on it. And he says that it's going to be about, I guess, like some video games or something, like a series of video games that depict alternate universes or something like that, and the Foundation realizes that all these universes are doomed because of a specific SCP or something like it. He really did not give many details. Fuck. Fuck you. Great. And I guess all of these games feature the same sort of a narrator character. And the narrator character is the Exploring series. So that's pretty sweet. That's pretty cool. I can't wait to see it. I'm probably going to end up making a video about it because it sounds like a pretty big SCP, and it'll be funny to mention the Exploring series in a video. Fuck. Gotcha, bitch. Nice. That worked. Yeah, I gotta work on my whip shot accuracy. I'm pretty bad.
Let me patch that up. I've got you covered. My barrier can't take me anymore.
Nice. Gotcha, bitch. Fucking. No! Fuck. Anyways. Yeah, I guess that's it for the channels. Which is gonna be most of my hanging with Mangg because there wasn't much else going on. Um, what? Damn, dude. I wasn't even paying attention. This is what I get for trying to think of commentary. Yeah, we'll leave it at that. We did not have RPG night on Monday, and from the sound of it, we're not gonna have RPG night for a while. I think what it really comes down to is that people don't really care for online role playing in our group. Hey. Gold eliminations, at least. Um. Yeah, I don't know. That we were supposed to play on Monday. We were all pretty much set, and then Studs came in and asked if we were doing board games because they had done, they had done board games the previous week. So he was asking if we were doing it again. He was just curious, and this sparked this whole discussion about whether we should just play board games on TTS instead of RPG. And then Ziggy comes in and says that he has not spent like 1 minute planning the next session because of whatever reason, and he could do RPG night that night, but it would be really just like thrown together. And I was just like, oh gosh. I was not feeling board games that night, so I was just like, well, I'm gonna be playing Overwatch. And so there was some mild discussion about if they wanted to play Overwatch with me, but they ended up playing, I think, Chinatown on TTS. And then further on in I was like, okay, should I start like prepping a campaign to run? Because it's like, I mean, if no one else is interested in running something, I will run a campaign rather than do nothing. Then Mert was like, well, I could run something in icons with superheroes, and we were like, okay, I guess. But then later on in the week, the board game discussion came up again. He was like, I think I'd rather just play board games every week. Um, and then that started this whole thing of just like, yeah, I think we're all just interested in playing board games. No one really specifically stated that they didn't like Roll20 or anything like that, but that seems to be the implication. I asked Ziggy, who previously said, like, a few months ago, he said that perhaps when the pandemic was over, we wouldn't go back to doing RPGs in person because online seemed to work just fine, and he didn't no one had to drive anywhere, and we could get some other online people involved. um and I was like, wow, that's pretty interesting coming from you. But I asked him the other day if that was still his opinion. He was like, no, I've reconsidered things. So I mean, I'll admit just as much as anyone that in person is better. Of course it is. The idea of playing online is that you play online because you can't play in person. But from the sound of it, they would rather just do something else online than play RPGs. For me, I don't. That's just crazy. Like comparing RPGs to board games for me is like comparing video games to work. And I have a good job. Believe me, I have a fantastic job. I really like my job, but given the complete choice of spending an hour working and researching and writing or just playing a video game, the choice is pretty clear. Um, and that's RPG. It's just better. It's just better in every. And it's sort of crazy to me that they would just prefer to play board game every week. And I think that's just sort of the thing, is none of them like RPGs as much as I do, which is a shame. So I don't know. I mean, the pandemic thing, we're not probably going to get it back together in person to play stuff for months. Hopefully about early next year, maybe. But I don't know. I don't know if I can go that long without doing RPGs. I might have to find some like other group online. I'm sure some people in my fans, in among my fans, I could get together. Um, or maybe some of the other SCP dudes, we could have get together and do some like SCP RPG live stream, or who knows what I could end up doing. But I don't know if I could go another like 6 months without RPGs. That's crazy. So I don't know if we actually will. I mean, maybe they'll relent and they'll let me run something, or something like that. But right now, the topic seems to just be let's play board games every week. Even though they are also getting together in person every week without me, because uh, I take the quarantine seriously. And they are playing board game. I don't know if it's every week, but they've been getting together. I also suggested we play Overwatch, but yeah. I mean, board games are fine. I'll play them, but most of them are just sort of tedious. At this point, I really only like the more social ones. You try to sit me down and play like Agricola or something. It's just like, or Power Grid. Oh gosh, I think I would rather work. I think I would rather work. At that point, my job is better than playing a game. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. What this means for like role manging and live streams, I don't know. I don't know if anyone is interested in watching us play like Cosmic Encounter. I think we might be doing that tomorrow, so I guess I could stream that tomorrow and just see how it goes. But I can't imagine it's that interesting. But I don't know. Honestly, I don't think anything that I put on YouTube is interesting, so what do I know? All right, I guess that's about it then. These hanging with Mangs probably for the next while are going to be pretty short. Not a whole lot to say. So I suppose that's fine. Alrighty then. My name is Mangg. This has been Hanging with Mangg. See you fine folks next week.